some good advice for you. This is from Dr. Seuss. Be who you are, say what you feel, because those who mind don't matter, and those who matter don't mind. So, like you were saying, use your strengths, figure out what you want to do. Why should you want to listen to me? It's a good question. I ask John that on Duncan all the time. I graduated from South Carolina in '91. The thing I didn't know when I got out of business school is that I thought that once you graduated, that was it. That you learned all you needed to know and you were done. It never ends. This is a goal planning book that I put together for all my salespeople. They got to fill those out once a year, and it requires them to read a book every month. It's intensive training. You're always sharpening the saw. My background, a lower, I'd say middle class, but probably lower middle class family. I was the first one in the family to go to college. Started, to keep all this straight, I want to stay on track. I have ADD, very, very bad. It's hard for me to sit here, actually. I should walk around like John can. Speaking of that, I do have a stand-up desk, so talk about your strengths. I can't sit still, so in my office, in the corner, there's a desk, it's got a button on it, and I can go, and it raises. Probably 90% of the day, I'm standing there, talking on the phone, got a headset. So that goes back to your strengths, figure out what you're good at, what you like doing, and how you operate, and then exploit that. First job I worked, when I got out of college, I worked for a bank, and they, a year later, they gave me a 3% raise, and I wasn't making much money. I said money's not important. You gotta be able to buy food, pay the bills. So, most unprofessional thing I did, I quit that day. I walked in and said, I can't do this. The guy said, are you kidding me? 3% of a little number is a really little number. I'm out of here. So, figured out pretty quickly I needed to get into the incentive-based compensation plan in sales. And my mother was, she passed away, she had pancreatic cancer. But my dad looked at me, and he's a farm boy, he's like, sales, what you want to do that for? I said, Dad, I think I can do this. So, got in the commercial insurance business, like insuring buildings, like college campus, probably pay $500,000 a year in premium. So, figured $500,000 premium, you make a cut of that, that's pretty good living. So, started that, did pretty well. After 2 years, I said, I can do this on my own. I started my company in March of '97. I was 27 years old, not too much older than some of y'all. Grew it for 13 years, sold it to a publicly traded company out of Florida, and for more money than I ever thought I'd make in my life. And so now I get to go around doing sales training, teaching people, trying to motivate people. We hire a lot of kids that are, I call them kids, young people, 25 to 30, and I teach them a lot of the stuff that John was talking about, how to set goals, find your strengths, and just go after it hard. And I hope a lot of people make pretty good living. But basically, I'll tell you 3 simple rules of success. I don't know if you remember if Shank, I think I shared one. But it's show up on time, do what you say you're going to do, and say please and thank you. If you do those 3 things, you're 90% of the way there. Most people don't do that. Show up on time, do what you say you're going to do, say please and thank you. I promise. I have 5 kids. I preach that to my 17-year-old all the time. He's got a ways to go. But, the day I sold my company, the CEO, they have 3 jets, and he's successful, I guess, and I can't talk about him if any of y'all ever say anything about Brown & Brown, so you're lying. But he has 3 jets, very, 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 very wealthy. Probably just in the company stock worth $700 million. And we were driving across the bridge. I dropped a Toyota pickup truck. And he looks at me and said, "Todd, who's the most successful person you know?" One of your close friends. I looked at him and said, "What's success?" He said, "I got a buddy that wakes up on Monday morning, commutes to Atlanta, works there all week, comes home on Friday. He's making $1 million a year, but he never sees his kids. His marriage is pretty shaky. I don't think that's success." So it depends on what you think success is. And he looked at me. Little did I know at the time, but he woke up on Monday morning, was gone all week, shows up on Friday, had 4 kids. Probably would have said that if I'd have known it, but it sounded like I was talking about him. But actually, believe it or not, because I said that, I think I earned a lot of respect in his eyes, because he's like, this guy will tell me what he thinks, even if I don't like it. And actually, I'm going to give you a copy of this, but I'm 44. I turned 40 in December of 2009. I wrote down 40 things that I just thought were life lessons. So I'm going to give you a copy of this, but some of the things in here, I hope they don't offend you, but if they do, I apologize. This is Rollins' fault, not mine. But back to some of the stuff John was saying, business. Follow your strengths and do what you enjoy doing, because like you said, the passion, if you wake up in the morning and you really believe in what you're doing, you'll be successful. So you're wearing a Firefly hat. I know a couple of those people. I mean, that's a good company. They were at this winery, vineyard thing out in Waterloo, trying to figure out how to make money, and all of a sudden, boom, they hit, and the place is huge now. Columbia Farms. Are you related to those people, or if you were?
My friend, her dad works there.
Okay. That company's an amazing story. Small chicken processing plant in Columbia, South Carolina, and just kept growing and growing and growing. And the House of Rayford bought them. Guy's a fabulously successful. We used to insure them. I don't believe in going to chicken processing plants. You never want to eat chicken ever again. But my point saying is, whatever you choose to do, if you're passionate about it, you'll be successful. And then you can use that success to help other people. He's lucky he gets to teach these master's classes that he was talking about, and it can have a huge impact, change people's lives forever. The key is live for eternity, not for the weekend. Some of you are probably thinking, I'm trying to live to 950 before I can get out of here. So, but one of the things that I wanted to share with you, when people think business, a lot of times they think Wall Street. And now I work for a company that's a big, publicly traded company. There's advantages to that. There's also some disadvantages. The disadvantage is when I had my own company, I called all the shots. If I thought we were going in the wrong direction, I could turn and do something else. The disadvantage of that is I incurred a ton of debt. Every child of the 5 that came on, I'm thinking, oh, what am I going to do if I fail? So that failure became an unbelievable motivator, but also made my hair fall out during gray. So when these guys came along and said, hey, we'll write you a big fat check, and you can go around the country training salespeople, I went, that's pretty good. It was also 2010, the economy had collapsed, and I'm thinking, I might be bankrupt. So whichever road you take, a lot of my dad said, no, like your dad probably told you, go to work hard, start at the bottom, work your way up. That's what he said. He was a farm boy. This is what you did. Like, I don't know. He said, well, starting a business is risky. Yeah, it is, but I have a ton of buddies that work for Bank of America, and Tom might have still been Nations Bank, but All of a sudden, the guy's looking at the spreadsheet in Charlotte, goes, we gotta cut some people. Wham, they lose their job. All of a sudden, they went from making 100 grand a year to 0. So who's in control of their life? Is it the guy with a small business who knows he's gonna wake up every morning, hit bricks, work hard? Or is it the guy who's beholden to somebody that at any moment can go, and you're fired? So let's think about that. There's so much that, how many more times are we gonna be coming?
At least 2 or 3 more.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I got a lot of things that are in this list that I'll hand out to you. Read over it. Some of you I know are gonna walk out of here and ball it up, throw it away, but, we're gonna go over a lot of these things about which business you decide to go in, what you wanna do. Some of them are just life lessons, situational awareness. Well, I feel like Mark Rubio, when he was giving the speech a year ago, got a drink. Situational awareness, vital to success in business, knowing what's going on around you, being able to read people. Telling stories, pictures. John drew the Venn diagram. Pictures work better than words. YouTube videos, that kind of thing. I mean, we actually use those for selling to our customers. I insure a lot of defense contractors. I don't know if you're familiar with this company here. It used to be called Force Protection. They made these armored vehicles to troops in Afghanistan and Iraq. And the reason I was able to insure that is we made a video explaining how they could improve some of their processes, and we ended up getting an account. It was great until they sold to General Dynamics, but that's a different story. But use pictures, videos, that kind of where it helps communicate. He mentioned Stephen Covey. That's actually one of the things I have in mind is begin with the end in mind. What does that mean? Write down your goals and sit down, like you said, with your mission statement and envision, where do I want to be in 5 years? Where do I want to be in 10 years? 10-year goal, lifetime goal, and then start backing up. What do I need to do incrementally to get there? I do some triathlons and marathons, all these things. You can't train for a marathon the week before. You can't go play golf. You can't cram for that. It takes a long time. So your lifetime goals, you got to take incremental steps day by day. And you'll wake up one day and you'll be amazed. How much time do I have? 3 minutes?
About 3 minutes, yes.
All right. Here's the deal. It's life, time. You going down here? You cruise along. You make good decisions and habits. This is the key, it's habits. And the bad habits. Scary thing is, or the bad thing is, if you go smoke 1 cigarette today, it's not gonna hurt you. The next day, really not gonna make a big deal. Where it adds up over time and starts growing exponentially. Y'all, in business school, you'll learn about compound interest, time value of money. It starts exploding toward the end. Right here, those cigarettes that my uncle started smoking when he was 13 on a tobacco farm ended up killing him when he was 64. So you can either make really good decisions and have, be successful, have a great life, or the bad ones. That applies to health, financial, spiritual, family, everything. So